Senior correspondent John Miller is a former FBI assistant director. John, good morning.
Good morning.
What do we know more coming out of this investigation about what happened?
Well, they're looking at a lot of photographs. A couple of the photographs they've seen, they have high interest in. These are photographs that are immediately before the bombings or minutes before the bombings, where they see an individual with packages who they think is a possible for the bomber. And that's more than one photograph with more than one individual. So they're trying to go through all of this digital evidence and say, are we going to find a picture of our guy?
And John, this particular photograph, people are making note of this morning because it looks like, if you look in that area there, it looks like a package in front of the spectators. And yet some of the evidence from medical personnel, and there's a good piece about this in the New York Times, appears most of the spectators had a blast from the back of them. The backs of their legs were injured. What do we think about something like this?
Well, it's certainly worth looking at, but, you know, the forensics are telling them that there are many shards of a black nylon bag that was the container of this pressure cooker bomb. And what you see there is a bright orange bag. So it's worth looking at, but as I think you've already hinted there's a lot of evidence to say it could be something else.
And are investigators looking in the connection between pressure cookers and Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula? They talked about that in one of their magazines. Faisal Shahzad in the Times Square bombing tried to use a pressure cooker. What does that device tell us about who might be responsible?
Well, the pressure cooker bomb is an old favorite in the Al-Qaeda training camps in Afghanistan, and you will find it in Inspire magazine in their recipes. So that's the news that points in that direction. The problem with it is that I can tell you I was at a pressure cooker bomb scene in the Port Authority bus terminal in New York in the 70s. I was at a pressure cooker bomb scene at Grand Central Terminal in a locker in 1976 that was a Croatian freedom fighter group. I've seen them used by domestic militia groups and threats. So what you see is it's a good container. It's an easy bomb to make if you know what you're doing, and it does the job. So it's prolific.
Do you have the impression then that there's, looking at all this evidence, the nature of the bomb, all these videos, but they have not seen anything yet? Or have they seen some things that are intriguing for them?
It's exactly that, Charlie. They've seen some things that have got them lit up saying, you know, we've got to figure out who this guy is. We've got to figure out who that guy is. We've got to figure out who this individual is, because they're all possibles. But they don't have that smoking gun picture, and they don't have an ID on anybody. What's really interesting is if you read the jihadist blogs that are going on, the ones that have the most credible connections to terrorist groups, they are struggling with the same analysis. They're saying, we think this was us. We want it to be us. And this could be the maturation of ideology where we've put that call out for the lone wolves to step up, and they've done it, and they just don't know how to claim responsibility. But it's interesting to see the investigators are struggling with that question. At the same time, Al-Qaeda on the other side of the world is wondering, was that us?
Planted the seeds, and when will they come?
Yeah, but they're wide open in terms of possible suspects and motives. Could be anything at this point.
Thanks, John.